This topic is giving me goosebumps because I don't understand.
Okay.
How many million Nigerian youths doesn't have anything? Not like they don't have a well-paying job. They don't have anything doing. Currently, as I'm talking to you, I'm in India. India won't offer you the lowest job in their country as a foreigner. The only people who get jobs, legit jobs in their country, is if you're a citizen. So how is this good job opportunity, this very one good job opportunity that I've been, this is my first time of like hearing someone from my country actually doing something that will favor the youth of that same country, employing foreigners that can't even give we, the Africans in their own country, works to do. I don't understand.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah. When you've set up a business, what do you set up the business for? Do you set it up for charity, or do you set it up to make money?
To make money.
Good. So, whatever decision the person who set the business up to make money took, as long as he is making his profit, let's not run and say he should employ us. He should employ who's capable. If he thinks the Indians are more, because let me tell you, I've spent the whole day explaining this thing to Nigerians. I told the story of the person that does my carports. I paid him money, ran away with the money for 2 weeks until I had to lie to him that my neighbor wants to do carports. That's when he finally came. Nigerian anyhowness. Nigerians don't pay attention to detail. Nigerians will take your money and not show up for the work. Thank God his wife is currently building an academy. Every day she's on the phone shouting. Somebody will tell you he's on his way now. Meanwhile, he's not going to show up for another 2 days. And he's on his way. You hear him in the bus. He's telling you he's coming. So until we're able to address Nigerian anyhowness, Nigerian entitlement. So somebody opened a business. Did he tell you he was opening an orphanage? Did he tell you he was opening a welfare center?
But that is
hold on. What you should ask him is, what are you going to do for the community? If you say every year you must build a school, or you must refurbish a school, or you must build a hospital, or you must give back this, and that, is understood. But when it comes to the professionals, now, if he hires the Indians, and then he starts bringing in Nigerians and training them, it's a totally different thing. But I would never tell somebody to, the government borrow him money.
No.
So let me ask you a question. When you were in Nigeria, did you own a car?
No.
Did your parents own a car?
Yeah.
Okay. What car did your dad drive?
That was a Toyota Camry.
Toyota. What about your mom?
Same car.
Toyota Camry.
Yeah, same car.
Why didn't your parents go and buy Innocent?
I don't know.
You are very quick to blame Dangote for not hiring Nigerians. But you walk past Innocent, where did they say Innocent? You go buy Toyota. Anybody that buys Toyota or Honda or Mercedes-Benz is as guilty as the people who choose to employ other nationalities, because you know that Toyota has higher second-hand value than Innocent. You know that Toyota's spare parts are readily available compared to Innocent. You know that mechanic that can fix Toyota is also readily available compared to mechanic that can fix Innocent. And you know that at the end of the day, you can carry your Toyota to Cotonou and go and sell. For you to sell your Innocent, there will be a bit of a struggle. I'm not in any way saying Innocent motors are not good, but I'm just explaining what Dangote did to you on a macro level, on a micro level. When you want to go and buy television, there are Nigerian-made televisions called Omatek. What television do you have in your house?
Panasonic.
You open your eye, you pass Omatek, you go buy Panasonic.
But that is free. We still have the serious ones. We still have the dedicated ones who are ready to give in their best.
Then they should apply. Dangote, according to the reports, has already employed 22,000 people that are Nigerians. He just also is employing another 11,000 Indians. He is also looking for who will do the job well at a good price and have professionalism intact. My thoughts. What are your thoughts? Do you have anything?
I wasn't happy at first. I'll be honest, I wasn't happy at first because we over here, we have to like create our own things to do for our own self, and they don't even patronize us. So for you clearing me now, I understand better.
Now let me explain to you here. Dangote is not Nigerian government. You understand? He's not Nigerian government. Let me ask you a question. Do you know Nigeria used to have a lot of refineries?
Yeah, I know.
Which are all not run by Indians. They were run by Nigerians. Where are they today?
Shut down.
They ran them to the ground. You see, I understand your sentiment. You had to go all the way to India to go and find work. I'm sure you are not enjoying yourself there. You are just doing it to put body and soul together. But you see, we also need to understand that our problem is structural. Our issues are structural. Nigeria has issues from the top to the bottom. So, yes, it will sound good if Dangote can employ people and all that. But I'd rather Dangote creates a thriving industry that can, over the years, lower the prices of petroleum products. Instead of telling him to employ more Nigerian youths, I will tell him, okay, what can you do? Educational. See, I would rather Dangote puts aside $10 million a year to send Nigerian youths to go abroad to go and study.
After the study, then what next?
They come back. They sign a contract with them. You go abroad to study and you come back and you work for the firm. Now it's different. But you just go and hire every all of you, how are you? Come and work. You also know how Nigerians work, our work ethics. If we are not careful, we they rob company to the point where the company no get $1 again. They did it to take these boys.
Like, for instance, I have a poultry farm. I have a farm back home where I rear pigs, chickens, and all that. That is free on they shout every day.
You go shout every day. Meanwhile, if you hire one Indian, just give him your target. He will just hire, he will do everything in such a way, or a Lebanese. They will do it. You will not need to shout. My father ran poultry. Thank you. As you mentioned this poultry, my father ran piggery. Baba, one day, my father cropped his pond. Close that door. One day, my father cropped his pond. Pond weighing for 2,000 fingerlings. They brought out 11 fishes. They brought out 11 fishes from a whole pond. For breakfast, before my father come, they go down catch one fish. All of them go chop am with bread.
Mine was like at first I wasn't noticing what they were doing. Like every 2 weeks, Mama, how far? One pig just fall on top one, and so it died. Oh yeah, show me the dead body now. I beg. Let me just
something where they don't go sell. They'll come the story you.
And that's why we go bury them for one backyard. At the point, I was like, every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, one story. So I dig into it. I dig deep into it. Then I found out that maybe the pig is sick. Do you understand? So maybe in their mind they were thinking, so if we leave this pig, it's going to die. Let's sell it and put the money inside our pockets. They won't even ask if we should invite someone to treat the pig or whatever. They will just sell it off. As if me, I am plucking the money from somewhere or I'm picking it from the road. I don't shout. I don't shout tired. And now you made me understand, like, we are our problems.
We have our own problem. My father started a poultry. Between the vet doctor that was taking care of his chickens and his staff. As in, you know, the profit margin of farm is not so much.
Yes,
If you're not careful, you'll be running it at a loss.
They die every day if you're not careful.
As in, they were selling, as in, my father's engineer was going to sell his chickens and his eggs. One day, my father now ran into the distributor. He now said, you are from these farms? No, the engineer is simply in the Papa hide behind door. Now engineer, vet doctor come with his own chicken. And my partner out. He beat this guy that they beg him. Because you can imagine his frustration. At the end of the day, where is the farm today? He closed it and sold it. So when you are now telling me that you want Dangote to go through what my father went through to sell his farm and close it because Nigerians want employment, no. We want a refinery that works so that our oil prices can eventually start tumbling down gradually over the next few years. So we need to be very careful, my sister. I understand your pain. I understand you totally. Don't be sad. Don't worry.
No, I'm not.
Just be strong.
I understand better now.
And do us proud in India. Mary you, Mary of United Nations. How are you doing, my sister? What are your thoughts?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. What are your thoughts?
Okay, I think that you've pretty much summed everything up. Like, I feel like Nigeria focus so much on education. Education is important, but soft skill sets are also way more important. Like, if you look at Chinese people, they even from when the kids are young as 10, they start teaching them about, technology, electronics, like how to fix things, how to do things. They start having projects from school. So I think that we need to focus on training, industrial training and all of that. Also, I agree with you 100% about employing people who are competent to do the work, as opposed to sentimental employment where we employ people who, you're my brother, so I believe no. Because we're talking about like a refinery where they'll be doing things like petrol refinery and all of that. You know how hard it is to get petrol now? They're actually going to be stealing it. That's the truth. From the back, they might be stealing it from the people who are refining, from the downstream sector. Everything is going to be a problem. So I think that maybe there should be a balance. Already, I think there's a balance because you said he employed 22,000 people, right? Nigerians. So he can put certain people in charge who he feels or he believes are more accountable. And those people would put some form of control over the people who they believe that can do the background work, but are not, I don't know how to put it, but there could be a balance to everything. But I don't want Dangote because everyone has hope with this refinery. I really want him to come and steal from him. No. I want people who are competent, whether they are Indians, whether they are Nigerians. I would rather we get the job done as opposed to employing people who will run it down and then we start from the beginning again to be needing petrol refinery. I agree with you. But I also agree with what that woman said. She said something about if it's Indian people, they would employ their people. I agree. Here in Canada, you find like 5 families living in one house, Indian people. When they save up money, they build their own house. That's how the family spreads. There's a city here in Ontario where it's dominated by Indian people. It's called Brampton. It's called the Brown City. They are majorly Indian people. Indian people help themselves grow. You see the Dollaramas, the No Frills, the Canadian store, they are owned by Indian people. Some Walmart franchise owned by Indian people. And that's because of they have this community togetherness spirit in them. And I agree, they will definitely not employ a Nigerian. But right now, we need to, when we get to the point where we feel like we are good enough to handle our things by ourselves, then we can let go of the Indian people. But for now, if we need them to get to the next level, I think we can have them for the time being. That's what I think. So,
all right. Wonderful, Mary UN. It was your birthday the other day. Happy birthday in arrears. I know I should have called you directly. Please forgive me. I've been so crazy busy.
That's
We have a beautiful lady with us. Hello, Ma. How are you doing?
Myself?
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. I'm
good evening, my darling sister.
I'm good. How? Well, sorry, I look a bit tired, so that's why I was a bit taken aback. Daddy Freeze. I agree with you only to an extent.
Okay.
I feel education is important, at least the foundation of education.
That's what I said.
Very important.
Primary
and
secondary
yeah, that's
school
what I said.
are very important.
I agree
but
with
beyond
you.
Secondary school, any form of education is optional, in my humble opinion.
Well, it depends on what they teach, though, in primary and secondary school. So this is, I live in England. So by the time the children get to secondary school, they start to teach them skills. You mentioned something earlier when you're saying something about attention to detail. I'll say myself, I have a double degree, a double master's degree, but my current role did not employ me based on that. I actually did a diploma. My promotion started coming. So in the UK, they recognize skills, major, big time. Qualifications, skills. It doesn't matter if you go to uni. I mean, there will come a time when your university degree will help you. I mean, they will look at you in that role and like, oh, this one. They call it letters in this country. So when I started off the financial career path, and I started putting, my manager used to say, why don't you put all these letters be M1111 behind your name? I'm like, what does that pay me? That doesn't pay me anything. You know, it doesn't matter, but the skills. Because when you're doing those interviews, they want to know what you're bringing to the table. Education is important if it will teach skills. In this country, most children are deciding, oh, do they want to go to uni? Or most of them are going through apprenticeship now. Personal story is that I have somebody, a relative, that didn't go to uni, went into an apprenticeship. She's working for a huge Bloomberg, like she's working for a big company now, and she is like jet setting around the world. And those with their BSs, her mates come out of uni, and what happens? They can't even get jobs, or they end up doing. There's nothing wrong with care jobs. I mean, there's dignity in labor.
But, yeah.
I think you need to fine-tune your level of education to the country that you live in. I think the reason why most Nigerians actually do that BSc, go for masters, is if you don't have a godfather, you don't know anybody. That seems to be the hope that you have to have an edge over other people. Not because necessarily you want to go to uni, but you're thinking that will secure a job in the bank or something. America is different. My sister, they just keep reading in America. You have to have masters for certain jobs, but the UK is very different. So I really think is where you end up on the one hand. And again, skills. You're doing interviews, you master them. They want to know, what have you got communication skills? I mean, look at the average Nigerian on Instagram, the way they insult people. I mean, there's no communication. You talk at me, I talk at you. So little skills like that should be taught way in primary school, secondary school. They are not taught. Teamwork. We work against each other. The average Nigerian works against the other Nigerians. If you come to the UK, you have a whole street with Indians helping each other. Siblings come together, they buy a house, and then what happens is when the value goes up, they sell, and everybody goes their separate. Nigerians, not lie you. If you come to, to be honest, and I have to be honest, sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to live in an area where there are too many black people. We do it, yeah. We do it because we bring problems to each other. No, I won't lie to you. We bring problems to each other. There are certain areas that you will live in, and then once our people come in, is one noise, is true trouble. I mean, you're talking here, and the neighbor down the street can hear you. Like, Nobody wants. So it's all those little things, teamwork, customer interaction. How do we even interact with each other? Nigeria needs to do better. So when I say I agree to an extent, I agree you need the skills, but education teaches the skills. So if they stop in secondary school in Nigeria, it makes no difference because they don't teach them skills. They don't teach them skills in Nigeria. So I just think education is really important, but our education system needs to be revamped. It really needs to be revamped. If we can do that and include skills teaching, because Dangote is employing people. I mean, if you call somebody in the university with a BSc in Nigeria, university of whatever, I won't call it in before people start attacking me, thinking I'm personalizing their units. And then you bring them to Dangote, what do they know? I mean, I studied in a university in Nigeria where they taught you computer and we never saw computer for one day.
Yeah.
They call it GST 101. Like they're teaching you computer and you have never seen it. But in this country, children can walk into the library, have access to computers, they see what they are teaching. It's practicals. They've taught us how to draw cockroaches, name all the cockroach parts. It's not helping me. That's not what I'm working with. So we need to do better. So if we stop primary or secondary, yes, but it depends on what is being taught, primary, secondary. Then we can say university is not important. I mean, they don't teach it in uni, but at least the higher you go, maybe the more you learn. But yeah, that's just my contribution, really. So it depends on the country.
Thank you so much, my darling sister. I appreciate you both. Let me start running.
Welcome. Cool.
Mary, I go call you. Thank you, my darling sister. God bless.
All right, then. Take
care.
All
right, before we go, who's going to be my #1 gifter as I'm signing off on TikTok? We sign out? I want to know who my #1 gifter is because I always follow my #1 gifter, whoever is my #1 gifter at the end of the day. Adun Ola Love. That's my current #1 gifter. Is she going to remain my #1 gifter? Is she going to remain my #1 gifter? Double click